Hello. I got so many questions about the gear from my Sarek trip, so I thought I would make a video, talk a little about the gear and my philosophy about carrying light. And going light is very much about the attitude, about being outdoors, to accept that you are outdoors and not at home, to accept that you're living with much different standards and lower comfort than you're used to. It's very important to accept that if you're going to enjoy it. You're being kind of part of nature for a few days. You start watch nature from a different point of view when you have the right attitude. And you can find things in nature to use instead of carrying it in your backpack like a whisk or a dish brush. Just pick a small twig from nature and it works just as well. So it's going light, it's very much about attitude. It's not only about the light gear. The light gear is one thing, yes, a light tent, light backpack, light sleeping bag. But it's also what you don't bring. It's maybe the biggest part. All this good to have stuff that you don't need. But you take them just because you feel that it would be nice to have. But you have to leave that at home. And to accept that now you're out, it's a different standard. My backpack was 45 liter. And with a backpack that size, you just can't take all this good to have stuff, unnecessary stuff. You have to pick the absolutely necessary stuff only. So if you have a big backpack, it's a risk that you start to take all this unnecessary stuff that you don't need. So it's a good start to pick a smaller backpack and to adjust your gear after the backpack, how much you can carry. So 15 kilos, it's quite easy to come down to 15 kilos. And of the 15 kilos I had 1.6 kilos camera gear and 6.5 kilos food, which is quite heavy for 8 days. And the rest was about 7 kilos. Everything else. I used different gear on different trips, but on this trip I wanted to go as light as possible. That was the whole idea. So if I go in a short trip or kayaking, of course I can carry much heavier gear than on this trip, but I don't think I would make a trip like this, backpacking trip for 8 days in the mountains in tough terrain, if I didn't carry light. It wouldn't have been a joy to do it otherwise. And being outdoors is about feeling good, have a good time. At least for me. So I want to make it as pleasant as possible. Make it a very positive experience. And carrying a very heavy backpack, it's not a pleasant experience. I just don't like it. And you don't have to, if you don't want to. It's quite simple. It's just a choice that you make. If I start with the backpack, it's a Exped Lightning 45. Worked very well. I like this pack very much. It's very comfortable, light. Here you have the sleep system. This is the sleeping pad, thermarest, venture, Here you have the sleeping bag. Inside this dry bag, which also works as a pump bag for the sleeping pad. And here's the bag, sleeping bag. It's a Western Mountaineering Ultralite. Pretty small, light and warm. Too warm in the warm weather we have right now. But it's good to have a warm bag when you're going to the mountains. You never know what kind of weather you will get. And I have one solid sleeping pad. Extra too, very light. It's always nice to have when you're taking breaks, and if this one would fail for some reason. And I have 2 dry bags with clothes. Extra change and warm clothes, first aid kit, repair stuff, packed in plastic bags. This is the kitchen stuff. I had a gas stove, small Optimus crux, very light, and a cook set. I also use this as a plate when I ate. I use this for everything. Coffee. I don't recommend this for coffee. I think I will go back to my old kettle. It works better for coffee. But it was kind of an experiment, this. It works, but it's not perfect. Insect repellent. I don't use this much, but if it gets really bad, then I'll take this on. And camera gear, of course. This is 4 extra batteries to my camera that I'm filming on right now. Panasonic G80 or G85 in some countries. I'm very happy with that camera. It's an extra lens, 45 to 150 millimeter lens. And a water bottle. I had 2 half-liter water bottles. I only needed 1 really, but I didn't know when I was going up on the top of the mountain if there was any water there, so I had 2 of these. I don't carry water in them, of course, if I don't need it. And the tent. This is new tent for me. It's the Tarptent notch, lightweight. 850 grams totally, everything included. I'm very happy with this one. I had very nice weather, so it wasn't really a test, but it seems to work very well, so I will keep using this one. To use this tent you need trekking poles when you pitch it. Okay, so that's the gear. 15 kilos with the food and everything, so only this gear without camera gear is 7 kilos. If you haven't seen the Sarek video, you should go watch it right now, so you can see this stuff in action. And thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just drop me a line below in the comment field and I try to answer it.